Hey everyone, my name is the Ender Gecko, and welcome to Internet Oddities. In this series, we will take a look at some of the strangest communities, people, and whatever else on the World Wide Web. Today, we're going to talk about Sonichu. Sonichu is a fan-made comic written and drawn by... Jesus Christ, what is that? Sonichu is an out-of-sorts comic created by Christian Weston Chandler, or Chris Chan as many of his followers call him. As you can already see, this comic is an utter cringe binge starring an amalgamation of Sonic the Hedgehog and Pikachu from Pokemon. Now before we start jumping into the treacherous chronicles of Sonichu, it's worth showing you how the comic is numbered just in case you want to check this out for yourself. As of writing the script for this, there are 14 issues, but the most recent one, issue 12-9, is currently in development. Yeah, even the numbering of the comic makes me shudder a little. You see, it starts with issue 0, and what's technically the 14th installment is called issue 12-9, because the author is too superstitious to call it issue 13. Now, each issue is divided into different episodes. No one's really sure why Chris Chan does this, because the methods of the episodes are just as random as the issues. At first it appeared that there would be a pattern of 3 episodes and 1 sub-episode. We'll get to that later. But in issue 4, there were 8 episodes, and in issue 10, there was only 1 episode. Okay, so far you may be thinking, this is just a cute little comic drawn by some 5-year-old with an imagination and a box of markers. Any kid that liked to draw probably made comics like this at some point. What's so weird about that? Well, you're right, kids do draw cringy little comics starring their favorite cartoon characters all the time. In fact, I used to when I was 5. But Christian Weston Chandler was not 5 years old when Sonichu was created. He was a senior in high school, and this was in 2000, which means he is 35 now, and like I said earlier, Chris is still drawing Sonichu comics. Alright, so I think it's about time we actually started talking about the contents of the comic. It starts off with Sonic fighting Perfect Chaos, which is a giant monster from the Sonic franchise. During the fight, there is a wild boy Pikachu wandering around 5 miles in the distance. There are a few more panels showcasing the battle, including images of Sonic becoming supersonic. Meanwhile, Pikachu tries to get a little closer to the scuffle. All of a sudden, boom! Sonic and Pikachu have crashed into each other. This appears to create a rainbow, which somehow appears to cover a girl Raichu 15 miles away. This transforms her into a new creature who is able to speak. She gives herself the name Zapbud, or Rosechew. Now, you may be thinking, while this comic is cringy, it's still pretty innocent. There's nothing about this to be considered odd. Well, in the first 3 issues of Sonichu, nothing considerably odd happens. But in sub-episode 1, things get interesting. That episode is the beginning of the depictions of the adventures of Christian Weston Chandler in half real-life, half fantasy events. Eventually, all the Sonichu comics are surrounded mostly around him. Now, we can't continue talking about Sonichu unless we start talking about Chris Chan, which is why I'm ending it here so I can talk more about Sonichu's creator next time. Be on the lookout for part 2, and until then, thanks for watching.